Are you ready to hear what it feels like to be given to the golden throne? To feel your veins ignite, your bones shatter beneath a weight no mortal can bear? Do you dare witness the fate of those sacrificed to the Emperor? To hear the last prayer swallowed by silence, the last breath turned to ash? Then listen well, for these are the words of a soul already half consumed. I feel the chains first, cold iron, heavy. Each link rattles when I move, echoing in the hollow chamber. The sound bounces from the walls like distant thunder, only to be drowned by the endless chant. The choir's voices rise and fall, low and guttural. They chant his name, each syllable sharp enough to cut through the haze of incense. The air is thick with it, burning sweet and bitter, choking my lungs. My eyes sting, watering until the world blurs into gold light and shadow. Bare feet press against the stone. Cold, rough. I curl my toes against it, searching for something familiar, something real. There is none. Only the floor of the sanctum, slick with oil and ash, consecrated long before I was born. I bow my head, because that is what is expected. The chains force me to kneel. My back aches beneath the weight of gilded armor, polished to perfection, heavy as sin. Custodian plate, blessed by artisans who whispered prayers into its seams. Once a shield, now a shroud. I was told this was an honor, a gift beyond measure. To be chosen to walk this path, one of 1,000 custodians offered, one of 10,000 who might serve. But no one speaks of the end. The truth hides in silence. The chamber pulses with the rhythm of the choir. Drums beat like a second heartbeat in my skull. The scent of burning oils mixes with the faint copper tang of blood. Not mine, yet, perhaps from those before me. The priests approach. Their robes scrape the stone. Their censers swing in slow arcs, spilling clouds of smoke that crawl across the floor. They mutter blessings as they tighten my chains. Rough hands seize my arms. My wrists throb beneath the iron. Fear gnaws at the edge of my devotion. I bury it beneath ritual words, whispered prayers, half-remembered oaths sworn in golden halls. Still, the fear bleeds through. It cannot be contained. At the center of the sanctum, the throne waits, vast, endless, a mountain of gold, wires, and deathless light. I dare not look up at him. To see his broken majesty is to see the ruin of hope. Yet I feel his presence pressing down, crushing, immense. My skull trembles with the weight of his hunger. The choir falters. The air hums. My vision narrows to nothing but flame and shadow. I try to breathe. I try to pray. But the words burn away before I can speak them. And then I feel it. A pull, like every thread of my soul is being unspooled, drawn toward the throne. My blood quickens. My mind cracks. The chains rattle as I convulse, but I do not break free. I never will. The Emperor drinks. My devotion, my memories, my fear, he takes it all. The pain is endless. My thoughts stretch thin, torn ragged by psychic teeth. I am unraveling, piece by piece, dissolved into the infinite fire of his will. And yet, in the agony, there is glory. A terrible glory. I am nothing, and in that nothing, he is everything. The priests chant louder. My scream folds into their litany. My body is still on the floor, bound and broken, but I am already gone. A spark consumed by a star too vast to name. And still, the hunger deepens. The fire begins in my veins. It spreads quick, violent. My blood is no longer liquid. It is molten, boiling as it races through me. Every heartbeat hammers like a forge. Every pulse bursts into sparks behind my eyes. My bones rattle, not from movement, but from pressure. An invisible weight crushes me from all sides. My ribs bend, my teeth grind until they splinter. The armor I once wore as pride now becomes a coffin, clamped tight around a body breaking from within. The air is gone, breath stolen. The choir fades, their chants swallowed by something deeper, something vast. The silence arrives, deafening, absolute. The warp opens within me, not around me, within. A hollow without end. It screams without sound. My thoughts tear loose, ripped away like pages in a storm. Oaths, names, faces, all stripped bare. I try to hold something back, one memory, one word. But the silence devours it before I can shape it. My vision shatters. Light becomes knives. Darkness becomes flame. I see without eyes, and what I see should not be. Endless tide, endless hunger. The Emperor's will, raw and merciless, pouring through my soul like acid through cloth. My body jerks, flesh splits at the seams. Fire runs down my throat, out my eyes, through my nails, yet I live. Still chained, still kneeling. The body refuses to die, because death would be mercy. The soul unravels faster. Threads pulled loose, torn by hands that are not hands. Each strand burns as it's fed into his hunger. I am less with every heartbeat, less than a whisper. And still, the silence grows louder. It is not absence, it is presence. Something vast, patient, starving. And I realize, I am not the first voice he has swallowed. I am one among countless screams, buried together in the throne's abyss. And they are screaming still. The screaming rises inside me. Not from my throat, from what remains of my soul. Each voice is a blade. Each memory not mine cuts through me, carving paths of agony. My blood is no longer mine. It burns, liquid fire coursing in rivers too narrow to hold it. Veins tear. Skin splits. The chains hiss as my flesh sears against them. My bones quake. Cracks spread through marrow. Shards grind together, splintering under weight no mortal forge could mimic. My skull feels hollow, caving, yet it does not break. It is forced to endure. The silence presses closer. It hums now, a low vibration that shakes me apart from within. The warp is not void. It is crowded, suffocating, an ocean of thought too vast to survive. I see them. The others, shadows of custodians who came before. Their golden armor gleams faint in the dark, stripped of glory. Their faces are pale, eyeless masks, stretched thin and screaming without sound. I want to look away. I cannot. They are bound to me. I am bound to them. Each scream threads into my unraveling soul. We are a choir of the consumed. And then the pull sharpens. No longer slow, no longer patient. The Emperor drags harder. Teeth of thought close in, gnawing every strand of what I am. I convulse. Blood fire bursts from my mouth. My ribs bend outward as if something claws to escape. My mind fractures into shards of memory, and each shard is swallowed before I can touch it. The silence swells, louder, brighter, blinding. It is not nothingness. It is him. And in that terrible light I see it. The throne does not only consume, it keeps. Every soul, every scream, every sacrifice. They do not vanish. They are bound. They are trapped. And now I am among them. The others close in. Their hollow faces lean near mine. Their mouths gape wide, stretched too far, spilling silence that is heavier than sound. My flesh trembles. My bones grind. Each joint pops like snapping cords. Fire replaces marrow, spilling heat that has nowhere to go. My body is a furnace without release. I try to cry out. No voice comes. The scream is stolen before it forms. The chains cut deeper. Metal sinks through blistered skin, anchoring me to the stone. I am not kneeling anymore. I am nailed, fixed in place, while the fire inside eats outward. The silence tears wider. It shreds thought. It peels me like cloth. My soul stretches thin. Strands of light bleed from me, drawn upward toward the golden mass of the throne. They writhe as they are pulled, like nerves torn from flesh. Each strand burns. Each strand screams. The shadows reach for me. Their hands pass through, not touching flesh, but soul. They clutch at what unravels, dragging me deeper, weaving me into their endless chorus. I do not vanish. I multiply. Each torn fragment of me becomes another voice, another scream inside the silence, and then I feel him, not distant, not above. Inside, the hunger is not blind, it knows. It chooses. It sifts through me, pulling pieces apart, deciding what will be consumed and what will be bound forever. A thought splits open in me, horrible, absolute. The Emperor does not just drink us, he keeps us. Every sacrifice, every soul, alive, aware, eternal. We are his fuel, we are his prison, and we will never be allowed to end. The revelation crushes me, not with weight, with permanence. There will be no release. The fire claws higher, through throat, through skull. Every breath is ash. Every blink is lightning behind the eyes. My bones quake like hollow bells, ribs creak, spine bows. It feels as though invisible hands are wringing me out, twisting until marrow weeps fire. The silence thickens. It pushes into my ears, my teeth, the hollow of my skull. It gnaws thought into fragments, leaving only raw sensation. I feel myself stretch thin, soul pulled taut, every thread of me trembling on the edge of snapping. And then it happens. I hear them. Not screams this time, whispers, countless, endless. They coil through the silence, soft but sharp, brushing across what remains of me. They speak with my own voice. 1,000 reflections of me, broken and scattered, each screaming in unison and whispering in fragments. I am not alone. I am surrounded by myself. Each shred of soul becomes another captive, another echo bound to the throne. The fire does not consume me. It divides me. Again and again, I fracture into legions. Each shard feels, each shard suffers, all of them me. And through them all, I feel his gaze. Blinding, merciless, unending. The Emperor does not need faith. He takes it. He carves it into us, brand by brand, until even despair is devotion. And in that moment, the truth sears through me. I will never die. I will only burn, forever. The thought comes slow, then fast, like ice through flame. I am not fuel alone. I am a gear, a note, a memory kept on a chain. They do not simply drink us. They harvest us, they file us, they name us. A finger of thought taps at my fragments. One shard answers. It flinches at the sound of its own name. It remembers a face it no longer owns. The throne does not forget. It catalogs. Each scream becomes a bell. Each memory becomes a lever. I feel a cord tighten inside me, not of iron, of recollection. It winds my fragments into a pattern I did not choose. The priests do not raise the censers for ritual alone. They feed the catalog. They polish the hooks that hang us by. They whisper which name will be plucked next. The horror blooms, not of ending, of return. I am being made useful, made eternal for his purpose. My pain is kept, my courage saved, my hate stored like oil. He will reach into the file. He will pull a memory loose. He will call it back like a weapon. He will make me walk. I will be hunger and blade. I will be oath and murder. I will be the Emperor's remembered fury given form. And worse, I will know I was made for that. I will recall every kindness I once held, and then be forced to use it to do His will. The chains rattle around my soul. They sing now. A thin, awful music. I hear my name answered by 1,000 mouths. Something moves in the throne's light, a choice or a switch. It is almost gentle, merciless as mercy. I try to fold myself smaller. There is no smaller, only selection. Only the click of a mind deciding which shard will live on as a blade. The next thought that touches me is not mine. It is command. Soft as a whisper, sharp as a vow. I feel the tug. A part of me lifts. It goes willing, because it believes it serves. It goes screaming, because it remembers who it loved. And then I know the next truth. Not all of us are trapped to burn. Some of us are kept to walk, to fight, to obey. The revelation is a blade in my chest. It turns. It widens the silence until it becomes a voice. He will never be alone. He keeps us for war, and for worship, and for punishment. I am still here, but not whole, not safe, not free. He will call my name. He will make me answer. He will call my name. He will make me answer. I hear it before the sound forms. A pressure at the back of my skull. A memory like weather. A weather that smells of citadel smoke and iron. My name folds around the silence. It tastes like soot. It tastes like the last coin my father gave me. It tastes like the hand I once held. Something in me brightens. A shard lifts. It hums with recognition. It thinks of home. It thinks of vows. Then the tug becomes command. Not cruel, not loud. Coldly holy. Complete. The fragment moves through me as if through a corridor of bone. Bones clack. Joints rattle like prayer beads. My spine rings. Teeth shiver in their sockets. Blood turns to fire again. Hot rivers braid down my throat. They steam as they fall. My lungs flare and do not collapse. A piece of me stands up. It is armor without metal. It is oath without breath. It walks on cords of memory. I see through its eyes. A stranger. My hands. The hands of one who loved. The hands of one who will hurt. The whisper that wears my name is patient. It will teach me the taste of obedience. It will teach me which faces to cut from the world. It will teach me delight in the Emperor's quiet cruelties. The chains inside me sing a new note. They tune the fragments until they match the throne. Every shard becomes a tool. Every tool remembers kindness, and then remembers how to kill it. The next truth arrives like a blade warming in flame. I will not only be used, I will be made to enjoy my use. My compassion will be sharpened into purpose. The silence swells into a voice I cannot refuse. It tastes of gold and iron and the ashes of fathers. It tells me my orders. It gives me faces to forget and faces to destroy. My last private thought scrapes free. It is a child's laugh. It is snuffed like a candle, and then the shard that holds it walks away. I remain broken, listening, and I know the next revelation before it arrives. He will call more than my name. He will call my love. He will make my love his weapon. They will call her face. They will name the smallest kindness. A knock on a door, the smell of bread, a laugh in the dark. My inside remembers it all, every light, every hurt. They pluck the moments like strings. They tune them until they sing the right note. My blood rakes fire as they pull. It flares hotter with each memory taken. My bones shake. Joints click like dismissed prayer beads. My teeth grind down to the roots. The silence rolls over me. It fills the space where a name used to live. It presses the image of her smile into my skull. Sharp as a blade, warm as a wound. Then the revelation widens. Not only will they take my love, they will give it away. They will hand it to a hand that does not know mercy. They will make me remember blessing a child, and then make that blessing point a gun. They will make my tenderness steady a blade. They will make my own hands do what I swore I never would. A shard of me steps forward. It carries her laugh like a lantern. It walks. It obeys. I feel it cross a threshold I cannot see. The chains sing as it goes. My heart, what remains, splits and follows. I fracture again. The throne keeps more than pain. It keeps precision. It keeps the maps of my mercy. It hands them out like ordinances. I am made useful. I am made monstrous. And I will love what I am ordered to destroy. My love answers first, not with hands, with memory, a laugh reconjured, a scent, lavender and smoke. It blooms inside me like a wound. The shard that holds that laugh goes walking. It walks with my fingers. It touches a child's cheek. It signs a vow with lips I once kissed. I watch. I do not move. My chains hold my flesh. My name speaks through another throat. The thing I loved becomes a key. It opens doors I never knew existed. It slides into locks that make men fall like flowers. They go down smiling, believing they are home. My blood is still fire. It tastes of ash and iron, and the salt of old promises. My bones sing like bells. Each note commands something to fall into place. The silence learns my language. It teaches my hands to remember how to kill gently. It teaches my eyes to find mercy and bend it into order. It teaches my heart to take pleasure in duty. I feel a face I have never seen. It wears my smile. It says my name with my voice. It forgives itself for what it will do. The throne does not only bind, it appoints. It drafts us into roles we cannot refuse. It scripts our sins and makes them holy. And the next truth is colder than any flame. I will watch my love do what I cannot stop. I will feel each cut as if it were done to me. I will be court and jury and prisoner all at once. They will call my name in battle. They will call my love in peace. Both will answer with my hands. Both will answer with my soul. The chains sing my name again. A single thread tightens. It pulls a memory into the light. It lifts my voice to obey. A single thread tightens. It pulls until my teeth ache, until my bones sing like a harp. A door opens behind my eyelids. Light like knives, names like keys. A fragment of me steps forward. It wears my lover's face. It smiles with my mouth. My hands move with it. Not mine, but mine. They remember the warmth of that laugh. I feel every cut it makes. I taste the salt of the dying. I hear the last breath and know it as my own. The silence becomes a jury. It judges with my memories. It pronounces sentence with my hands. The throne does not merely sharpen me. It arms me with myself. The next command is not distant. It is a blade at my throat. He will send the thing that looks like love to find love. He will let me feel each betrayal before it happens. He will make me wield my own mercy as a weapon. I will walk. I will obey. I will know, with every step, that I am killing what I once swore to save. And the final truth descends like winter. I will never again be a man who remembers only his own sins. I will be the memory of them, sharpened and sent. Winter settles in my chest. Cold spreads behind the fire. It kills the small comforts first. Names go quiet. Faces blur like rain. Blood becomes a language. It hisses as it moves. It speaks of heat and of metal. It tells the throne where to cut next. My bones sing a new hymn. They knock against each other. They answer to a rhythm I did not learn. My spine rings like a struck bell. The chains bite deeper. Iron presses into bone. Not to hold me, to teach me how tight I can be kept. The silence grows teeth. It bites the corners of thought. It chews on purpose. It leaves only the raw sound of pain. I taste memory as smoke, lavender, steel, a child's laugh. They pass like offerings. They lift into the golden hunger and do not return. Something peers through me, not a face, a machine of thought. It reads my angles. It rates my compass. It bookmarks mercy. My shards find each other and do not recognize themselves. They gather into small, obedient packs. They march in patterns the throne arranges. They practice cruelty with my handwriting. I feel bones unmake and remake. Rib by rib a new structure grows. It is lighter. It is deadlier. It remembers how to kill softly. The warp hushes, then roars. The hush is worse. It is the calm before being remembered as a god's tool. I try to hold one thing, a face, my father's. It slips like oil. It slides into a memory machine and becomes a map to where men wept, a map that knows houses and names, a map that fits into the throne's fist. The revelation comes like frostbite. They will not only make me kill, they will make me kill with love as the blade's edge. They will hand me my own past and order me to use it. They will show me who I once saved. They will tell me to break them. My bones clack. My blood boils and cools in the same breath. My soul thins to a thread and is braided into service. The next thing the throne plans is quiet and vast. It will weave whole wars from the names it files. It will raise monuments of obedience built from our memories. And the sharp, new truth settles like ash on my tongue. I will be used to teach others faith. By killing the ones I loved most, I hear the truth like a knock, soft, mechanical, final. They will not throw me away. They will not let me die enough to forget. They will cut me into manners of men. They will plant my laughter behind other eyes. They will sew my oath into other tongues. I feel a cold needle pass through my mind. It plucks a shard like a string. It threads that string into flesh that is not mine. A man wakes far away with my last promise in his mouth. A woman takes a breath and tastes my child's name. They move by my memory, obeying commands I did not give. I am multiplied into masks. Each mask wears a memory of my mercy. Each mask learns to deliver it as verdict and as slaughter. My blood fire flickers. It becomes a signal. It maps onto countless bodies like a brand. Bones shake as if hammered. My marrow becomes a blueprint. They read it and build new men on its lines. Silence folds open like a mouth. From it my voice pours out into living throats. My whisper becomes doctrine. My tenderness becomes a weapon. I remain chained. I remain burning. I remain watcher and well. And the next revelation breaks me wide. They will not only make me kill with love, they will make me live in the faces of those I destroy. I will feel their endings as my own. I will feel my love die again and again through strangers who wear me. I will bless the wounds I give. The throne files my name. It stamps it on other flesh. It turns my past into ordnance. I am both smith and nail, both prayer and hammer, both the hand that forgives and the hand that kills. They do not merely file me away. They set me to work. I am pressed like ore. I am beaten into parts. Hammer strikes inside my skull. My marrow rings like metal. Heat runs my veins. Cold steals my breath. Fire and frost trade places in my blood. Each pulse is a serrated wheel. Hands not of flesh fold me. They lift memories by the root. They braid grief into rope. They splice hope into a hinge. I waken 1,000 faces. I taste a child's name. I hold a widow's hand. I give a command that is my own voice and not. Pain is a ledger. Each agony is counted. Each sorrow is balanced. The throne draws from the balance. The silence hums like machinery. It is not empty. It is functional. It keeps cogs turning in the dark. I feel the machine take shape. It is made of us. Not parts only, not flesh only. It is memory welded to will. We become pistons. We become locks. We become the slow valves that keep worlds from folding. We hold the seam of a galaxy together. The revelation is a blade with a slow edge. We are sustaining the thing that devours us. Our torment is its infrastructure. Our obedience is its coolant and its spark. They will send us out, not to die, to maintain. To tighten the net, I will walk into towns I once loved. I will mend engines with my guilt. I will sing lullabies that open slaughter. I will plant laws with a hand that remembers mercy. And here is the final cruelty coming into focus. If I falter, the machine will leak. If I refuse, the throne will bleed the galaxy dry to make me obey. My chains are not punishment. They are guarantees. My soul is not fuel only. It is the fuse. They will light me again and again to keep the light burning overhead. I am terrified in a new way now, not of ending, of duty without rest, of being the thing that never lets the world sleep. The priests polish the hooks. They pick my name from the list. They smile like surgeons. They whisper, "Prepare him." My bones tremble. My blood boils. The silence widens into a plan. It reaches for me. It reaches for me. Pressure like a palm of stars, cold then burning. My skull rings. My blood flares. Hot veins like lanterns. They gutter and burn without dying. My bones tremble, not with fear now, with the labor of being shaped. Ribs fold like pages. Joints snap into new rhythm. The silence widens. It fills the space where names used to be. It tastes of brass and old prayers. Something colder than chains slips inside my chest. Not metal, not flame. A thought the size of a city. It is not mine. It is not only not mine. It is an absence that speaks in commands. The throne lays a hand on me. I feel the press as an ocean. It is a presence and a task. A sliver of him slides down my throat. It is weight. It is duty. It is a hunger folded into mandate. I take it into me. I do not want to. I have no will left to refuse. The shard settles against the hollow where my conscience used to be. It burns. It cools. It answers with memories that are not mine. It answers with the Emperor's quiet loneliness. I hear his silence as thunder. I feel his remorse as ice. I taste his command like rust on my tongue. The revelation comes slow as winter. I am not only bound to feed him. I am bound to hold him. They make me a vessel and a dam. I will carry a part of his mind so that he does not tilt and spill. I will be the plug in his endless wound. I will feel his pain as my own. His doubt will echo in my chest. His grief will crawl under my skin. His hunger will gnaw at the seams of my soul. And worse, I will remember everything he forgets. I will keep what he discards. I will keep the faces he cannot bear. My chains tighten around that new weight. My bones learn the pattern of bearing a god. My blood cools, then burns with a different flame, one that carries obligation like coal. I will be the thing that keeps the throne from falling. I will be the hand that steadies a dying king. I will be the conscience he borrows and the knife he hides behind. The priests watch with calm faces. They polish the gold while I am hollowed. They count the cost in rosary beads and ash. The silence hums a new tune. It is quiet with purpose. It names me again. I answer, not with a word. With a tightening of the soul, I take him in. I hold. And in that holding, the next terror blooms. If I splinter, if any shard of me breaks, he will break with me. If I splinter, if any shard of me breaks, he will break with me. The thought lands like a hammer. It rings in bone. My skull answers in fractures. Pressure becomes a tide. It pushes from the throne through the soft roof of my mouth. It presses my teeth into each other until they sing. My blood flares again, hot, loud, obscene. It runs like molten wire beneath the skin. It smells of metal and old prayers. My ribs groan. They fold inward and back out. Joints snap into new measurements. My spine learns to hold gravity like a secret. The silence thickens. No choir now. No priestly scrape. Just the vast hush of the warp tuned to a single frequency. It hums through my bones. It drills into marrow. I feel pieces of myself dislodge. They bob like coals in a black sea. Hands of thought pluck them, one by one. Each pulled fragment is a memory turned cog. Each cog answers when the throne calls. They bind these cogs to places, to stations in the immaterial lattice, to planets, to councils. My laughter becomes a gear in a distant governor. My child's name becomes a latch on a city gate. The priests carve runes into my temples, cold cuts, tiny, precise. They thread threads of light through those cuts. Light that hums with duty. Light that will not break. The revelation arrives like frost inside my mouth. My endurance is not for him alone. I am a peg in a map of being. If I crack, a line on that map dissolves. Cities will blink out. Ships will find no stars. Mothers will forget names. I am the slow, invisible hinge on which whole worlds turn. My burning keeps clocks from unwinding. My pain is bureaucratic and holy. My suffering is a maintenance schedule no man asked for. The terror is not only that he will fall if I break. It is that, if I break, what I kept from myself will be unmade. Not just his steadiness, but the small kindnesses I hid, the hands that held me, the faces I fed with bread. They will unthread with me. My bones clatter like a machine at work. My blood hisses. The silence swells into a loud, patient thing that tastes like finality. It tells me what the priests already knew. I am not the last line of defense. I am the last promise. And promises, once spent, are impossible to mend. The chamber tightens around me. Stone leans in. Gold leans in. Silence leans in. My blood is a river of light. It runs hot and remembers names. It hisses past teeth. It paints the air with iron and old vows. My bones ring like a clockwork cathedral. Each joint counts down. Each vertebra learns the weight of an empire. My spine is a column in a god's hall. The warp folds into a whisper. That whisper becomes a ledger. It tallies grief. It tallies mercy. It makes a list with my handwriting. The priests trace my name with cold fingers. They do not speak. They only stamp. Their silence tastes like sealing wax. A hand of thought reaches in. Not gentle. Not rude, methodical. It lifts a memory from my chest. It turns it like a coin. It reads the face on its face. It smiles. It files the smile under useful. It files the cry under fuel. I feel my childhood fall into a drawer. It closes. The hinge locks. I hear the click in the hollow of my heart. Something else is being prepared. Not a shard this time. Not a tool. A commandment. They will not only use my memories as weapons. They will weave them into law. My promises will become ordinances. My kindnesses will be citations. My sins will be statutes. The throne is patient enough to wait for centuries. It is cruel enough to shape history from our grief. My life is being printed into the world as a map of obedience, and the next truth arrives like frost in the marrow. If I fail at the smallest hinge, if one memory phrase, if one laugh is misplaced, the map blots. A city vanishes. A mother forgets her child's name. A fleet loses its stars. I am not only keeper, I am guarantor. My seams hold nations together. My breaking would be a reckoning. The silence hums with that sentence. It is not a threat. It is a duty. It settles around my throat like a collar. My last private thing slides away. It is a boy's hand in mine. It is gone. Only its echo remains, wired into a circuit that will never cool. I am a machine that remembers tenderness. I am a furnace that keeps the throne whole. I will scorch forever so that the light above does not fall. The pressure builds. My marrow vibrates. The next revelation arrives on the wings of an order. It is not about death. It is about becoming the thing that never dies. I am the last promise. And promises do not break. They rot. My blood rots first. The fire does not cool. It thickens. It clots into black flame that crawls along my veins like worms. My bones rattle under the pressure. They shake in their sockets, not from weakness, from being used. Every marrow thread pulled taut as wire in a machine. The silence grows heavier, not absence, a weight. A hand pressing over mouth and lungs and thought. It buries even the sound of my own scream. I feel the Emperor deeper now, not as light, not as command, but as wound, a hole so wide it drinks everything. He seeps into me slow, relentless. The hunger folds my soul tighter, tighter still, until I creak like wood bent for breaking. The cogs of me keep turning. Faces I love grind against each other. Mercy sparks against violence. Kindness scrapes itself bloody on duty. Each spark becomes fuel. Each scrape becomes prayer. The throne eats them all. And then the revelation bursts, raw and merciless. I am not the only promise bound here. I feel them. Thousands, millions. Each one stretched across the silence. Each one burning. Each one screaming into nothing. We are not a choir. We are an engine. Every soul a piston. Every memory a gear. Every vow a fuse wired to the Emperor's cage. And if even one of us falters, if one promise fails, the machine will shudder. The cage will bleed. The wound will open wider. I feel their terror bleed into mine. Their bones rattle inside me. Their blood burns through my veins. We are one lattice of agony, strung together to hold him. And now the next horror sharpens into me. I will feel every break, every splinter of every soul beside me. When they fail, I will fail with them. We are chained not only to him, we are chained to each other. An eternal conspiracy of suffering, an empire of agony disguised as faith. The lattice tightens. Pressure becomes calculation. It weighs not just bone, but consequence. I feel a fracture ripple. Not in me alone. A neighbor's shard splits, and the sound is a planet dying. My blood screams in sympathy. It burns with their pain. It tastes like loss multiplied. A whisper crawls through the silence. Not from the throne, from us. A thought that is almost a rebellion. It flares like a fever. Hope, tiny and traitorous. It bites at the bindings. The throne notices. Its attention is a blade through marrow. It plucks the flare like a splinter. The punishment is precise. Memories are unstitched. Faces are rearranged and given to strangers. Names are taken and fed to the dark. I feel pieces of myself vanish as if eroded by some cold acid. They leave hollows that ache like missing teeth. Those hollows echo with the sound of falling cities. The next revelation slides in with the subtlety of rot. The throne will not only use us, it will prune us. It will excise what it deems dangerous. We will be whittled into obedience, bit by bit, until nothing remains that could ever rebel. And yet the forbidden ember persists. A shard curls around it like a fingernail around a splinter. It whispers a name I barely remember. I try to hold it. The silence strains. The priests lean closer, smiling without teeth. My future is carved in a single, small syllable. It tastes of iron and a child's lullaby. It tastes like the moment before a lock clicks shut. The syllable clenches like a tooth. It is my child's name. It is thinner than breath. I wrap the ember with everything left. Memory, shame, a quick laugh, a small hand in mine. It warms me. It almost feels like salvation. Then the throne leans in. Its attention is a cold tide. It tastes the ember and decides. I feel a pivot inside me. A mechanism of recall engages. Threads unspool from that name and run outward. They will not keep this as comfort. They will make it doctrine. They will turn my private grief into a public lever. Priests will light altars with my child's face. They will call the worshipful to tears and obedience. They will play my memory across plazas and battlefields. I will be dug up in 1,000 mines. My child's laugh will open doors. My child's sobs will order troops. I will feel each invocation as a blade. Each prayer will pull at the ember until nothing of kindness remains. It will be sharpened into a tool of control. My blood flames hotter at the thought. My bones thin like the ribs of a bell. The silence tightens into a noose, and the last revelation arrives like iron through cloth. They will make my love the signal that fractures other loves. They will use what I guarded most to shatter what others hold dear. I want to bite the silence. I cannot. The priests choose a hook from the tray. It gleams like a promise. The hook bites. Cold metal finds flesh that is not quite flesh. It slides through memory and skin at once. A pinprick that opens as if by will. Pain blooms, old and new at the same time. It is a map and a furnace. I taste iron and lavender and the echo of a small laugh. The hook sings as it settles. A thin, bright note. Hands draw the thread, not with haste, with ceremony. They win my child's name onto the hook like wire. They loop it, knot it, polish the shine until it gleams like doctrine. The priests chant, quiet, precise. Their words are levers. The hook pulls. Something inside me unreeled. My blood becomes a bell. Each pulse rings out across places I have never seen. It tolls in markets. It tolls under engines. Faces I do not know look up and weep for me. The silence listens, then answers. It opens a corridor that is not distance but will. Through it, strangers feel my child's laugh, as if it belonged to them. They obey because obedience now tastes like home. I am a spool. My child's memory becomes a string of commands. Each tug makes another mind move. Each movement writes a new line on the map the throne keeps. And the next terror arrives thin and sharp. The hook does not only pull memories out, it attaches them to mouths. It makes my past into a contagion. When they sing my child's name, whole towns will obey. When they burn my laugh into banners, armies will march as if led by me. I will feel every step they take. I will feel every hand raised in my child's name. The priests smile. They place the hook back on the tray. They whisper, prime the cities. They move like gardeners tending a vineyard of men. My body quivers. My blood becomes a river of signal. My bones clack to a rhythm that orders lives. My soul is a spool on a priest's hand, and the final revelation cuts clear. They will not only use my love to break others, they will make me feel the breaking. Every obedient town will echo in my chest, as if I were standing there, and the knife was mine. The towns cry. Their cries are cords pulled tight inside me. Each tug is a stitch. Each stitch closes a wound somewhere else. I feel a blade answer my child's laugh. It slides between ribs as if I'd made the cut. The sound of dying becomes the rhythm of my heart. I count deaths by the weight in my chest. My bones learn new names. They memorize coordinates. They map where doors will open and which throats will sing. They click like locks. My blood sends signals I never chose to send. It pulses like a sermon through conduits I cannot see. Cities light. Garrisons move. Families fold. All because a priest looped my memory on a hook. The silence watches. It catalogs my shame. It files it under usefulness. It stamps it with a seal I cannot read. Then the next thing arrives, not a command, a theft. They will take my love away from me, slowly, tenderly, by degrees that feel like mercy. The shard that held my child's laugh is stripped, not plucked, unstitched. The humor, the smell, the small habitual comfort. They peel it and roll it like parchment. It is no longer mine to mourn. It becomes public property. It becomes ordinance. It becomes excuse. I watch it leave me. I feel the space it leaves as an ache, a cool, hollow ache that the priests touch like a blessing. They sew a new thing into that hollow. They do not merely use my memories. They steal my right to keep them. They make me an archive I cannot access. I am a library whose books are bartered. The horror tightens. If I cannot keep my own grief, then who am I to resist when they call my hand to strike? If I cannot weep for what I loved, how will I know what I have killed? The throne answers by knitting obligation straight into the wound. It loops duty around the empty place until it becomes habit. My hands move. My heart remembers nothing but compulsion. And the final revelation comes like the snap of a bone. They will not only make me wield love as a blade, they will take my memory of loving. They will make me kill without the H that once stopped me. I will become a machine that remembers only orders, a man hollowed so thoroughly he cannot regret, a worshipper who cannot mourn. The priests smile. They prime the cords. They polish the last hook. The priests fasten the last hook. Cold bites. Silver sings. It slides into me like a promise. My blood answers first. It boils, then thickens. Black flame crawls beneath the skin. It tastes like incense and iron and old hymns. My bones begin to remember machines. They clack and set. Ribs fold into cages. Spine becomes a column of small, obedient bells. The stone under my feet is colder than before. It drinks the heat my veins throw off. It returns nothing. The silence of the warp widens. It presses against teeth and tongue. It fills my mouth with the sound of falling cities. A shard of me walks, not away, into. It carries the hook like a liturgy. Hands not hands thread through my mind. They sew a circuit where a heart used to be. They stitch my name into the map of the throne. I feel the pull. A slow, intimate wrench, as if someone is turning me inside out to better fit a socket. My marrow hums. Each hum is a lock set. Each lock set waits for a key I am not allowed to hold. The priests chant softer now. Their words are scalpels. They cut and never mend. Something cold and bright settles against the hole the hook made. It tastes like sacrifice and calculation. It tastes like a promise that cannot be kept. I know the next thing before it is done. It will not free me. It will not end me. It will bind me so deeply I will become the chain. It will make my burning structural. It will teach the galaxy to hang from my pain. The silence leans close. It is not patient now. It is hungry with design. Something clamps into me. Not flesh, not metal, a protocol. It meshes with the hook. It drinks my heat and names its structure. My blood answers in signals. It pulses like a circuit. Each pulse boots a piece of the throne's will. Each pulse signs a warrant in places I have never seen. My bones settle into new machinery. They click in sequences I cannot name. My spine becomes a column of small, cruel levers. My ribs frame an engine of remembering. The priests move around me like surgeons and choristers. They hum as they wire. Their breath smells of ash and victory. Their fingers stitch doctrine into marrow. The silence inside the warp no longer waits. It speaks in schedules. It sets tasks into my chest. It gives me rotations and stops and names. A planet's weather finds my pulse. A garrison's readiness echoes in my teeth. A child's bedtime becomes a time code that tells men to die. I feel whole cities mapped across my bones. Sometimes the Emperor's whisper comes first. Soft as a verdict, it asks for steadiness. It asks for small, terrible favors. Other times the throne speaks through me, not with voice, with obligation. I feel commands like ballast sliding into place. I have no hands that are only mine. I taste the memory of a warm hand. It is ledgered into a timetable. I smell lavender, and then I must name coordinates. Love becomes a consoling mechanism for murder. My marrow hums with schedules. My blood becomes an administrative language. It files reports to unseen clerks. It signs away the faces that kept me human. A shard of me remembers being a father. It flares and is catalogued. The flare is folded into a sanction. The sanction is sent like a key. The priests bow and pronounce metrics. They tick boxes while I drown in my child's laugh. They test my hooks. They set my obedience on a metronome. The next revelation is not about killing. It is about replacement. They will let me hold the throne's balance. They will let me steady his fall by breaking a world. If a line loosens, I will be ordered to tighten it. If a sector trembles, I will be told to make it still. If a people's faith wavers, I will be tasked to carve the shape it must take. I will become the surgeon that makes the wound heal by cutting out the limb. I feel that knife already. Cold drills down the lattice of my soul. It waits for the day they pointed at a map, and my hands must do what the throne demands. I am no longer only imprisoned. I am deputized. I wear duty like an extra skin. It sits over the rawness until I forget where I began. And the worst of it, I will be given choices. Small, terrible choices that feel like mercy. Pick one village to spare and 3 to burn. Name the child whose laugh will open the gate. Choose who will live so the rest can be bound. The weight of choosing plants cold iron where my heart used to be. My bones learn the measure of consequence. My blood learns how to ration pity. My soul learns to count lives as columns. The priests smile when I twitch. They call it readiness. They call it sanctity. They prime the chords and pick the day. I am ready. I am terrified. I am full of gears that remember my laughter and of levers that will silence it. I am ready. I am terrified. I am full of gears that remember my laughter and of levers that will silence it. Then the next thing arrives. Not a command, a proof. A priest slides a wafer of glass across my chest. It gleams like a planet. It is small, impossible, heavy. They set it against my sternum. It sings a note I feel in my teeth. It tastes like rust and rain. A thread of light crawls from it, and into the hole where the hook sits. It burrows colder than ice. It lodges behind my ribs like a second heart. My blood turns at the contact. Fire and ice braid into a new current. The flame burns upward. The cold pulls down. My marrow learns 2 beats at once. Then the revelation comes like a fissure. What they bind to me is not only duty, it is testimony. Every choice I make, every town I spare or burn, every face I name as true or false, it will be recorded in that glass, not in words, in weight. Each verdict adds a grain to the wafer. Each mercy becomes a notch. Each slaughter becomes an anchor, and the anchors pull. Slowly at first, then with the cold insistence of tides. If I choose wrongly, if I yield to mercy when the throne demanded iron, the grain turns to frost in my veins. It spreads. It locks a joint. It snaps a cord. If I choose rightly, if I cut as they command, the wafer warms. It hums. It tightens the lattice that keeps him upright. I am not only the hinge now, I am the ledger. I hold the accounting of worlds. And the worst of it, my judgments are not private. They echo back into me as sensation. When I condemn a village, it screams bloom inside my chest as a new ache. When I spare a street, its laughter becomes a thin, mocking blade that rides my bones. They will let me be judge, so that I will also be jury and executioner and mourner. They will make me feel every column I tip. They will make me carry the tally like ballast, until the weight is not mine alone. My spine hums under the added load. My blood flares black and bright. The silence of the warp swells with arithmetic. I look up. The throne is a silhouette of light and lists. Its hunger has become administration. Its mercy has become a spreadsheet of souls. A priest reads from a scroll. Names fall like coins into an abyss. Each coin is a country. Each coin makes the wafer heavier. I try to pull at anything left of me. My hands answer as if from far away. They obey the tally. The final revelation cuts closer than any hook. I will be the hand that keeps him balanced by counting the cost. I will be rewarded with purpose. I will be punished with memory. I will hold his life in exchange for the lives of those I loved. The wafer grows. It will not stop growing. And when it reaches its limit, when the ledger is full, I know what will happen. I will be split, not into shards gathered and used, but into a sum of obligations. 100 little men of duty, each with a sliver of my name, each required to keep a piece of him from tumbling. I will not die. I will multiply into more work, more balances, more faces to feed the throne. My blood boils, my bones strain. The silence waits with a question in its throat. The silence swallows the question. It answers with a cold that is older than my father. My blood flares at the answer. It lashes like a living thing, hot then viscous. It crawls under the glass wafer. My bones clack in a new rhythm. They learn the measure of forever. Ribs lock, spine tenses. My teeth chatter like a metronome. The priests do not celebrate. They record. They nod as if at a forecast. Their fingers catalog my tremor. The revelation drops like a bell into black water. The ledger will not stop at this life. It will spread me thin across time. It will stitch my name into ages. I will not only be many men. I will be many times. A single judgment now will echo in centuries. My choice will arrive before its cause. My hand will be where the wound begins and where it never ends. I taste that future in my mouth. It is metal and ash and the sick sweetness of inevitability. It coats my tongue like varnish. I can smell the dust of years I have not yet lived. My marrow learns to catalog futures. It files what might be as if it were what was. My blood becomes a temporal telegraph. Each pulse sends a message forward and back. The silence becomes a loom. It weaves my moments into a web. A tug in one corner tightens elsewhere. A command now will snap a string tomorrow. I will feel the weight of decisions not yet made. I will taste the tear before the knife falls. I will be the cause and the consequence. I will hold both the hand that writes and the hand that bleeds. They graft the protocol deeper. A lattice of light snakes into the wafer. It hums with calendars. It hums with verdicts unborn. My child's laugh becomes a timestamp. My father's curse becomes a coordinate. My mercy becomes an instruction set. My sorrow becomes the code that opens gates. And the worst of it blooms slow and clever. When they empty a world to mend the throne, I will hear it first as obligation. I will feel its fallout as a personal failing. I will relive each burning as if I had lit the torch. I will be everywhere duty requires. I will remember every face I ordered to fall. I will live their ends again and again in the present hour. There will be no archive safe from my touch. There will be no mercy that does not echo inside me. My bones rattle with the knowledge. They shake like dry leaves on a winter tree. My blood hisses and then goes quiet. The silence thickens into a cage. The priests cross themselves. They whisper stability. They smile and mean apocalypse. I am a ledger that bleeds time. I am a hinge that holds eras. I am a punishment that multiplies. The final truth etches into my skull. When the wafer is full, when the tali can no longer be born, they will not spare me. They will not end me. They will multiply me across the ages. They will thread my name through the bones of centuries. They will make me remember every atrocity before it happens. They will make me obedient at every moment it must be obeyed. I will never be alone again. I will never be whole again. I will be scattered into 1,000 clocks. Each tick a scream. Each talk my confession. My chains creak. The glass on my chest hums like a bell about to shatter. The silence leans in with patient hunger. It asks one small, terrible thing. Do you accept the account? I taste the question as if it were ash. It is simple. It is a blade with one edge. Do you accept the account? My throat tightens. Bones click. A small flash of the child's laugh flares and dies. The wafer on my chest thumps like a second, stranger heart. The silence waits. It is a presence that will not be bargained with. It presses into my ears until even remembered music becomes a nuisance. My blood boils. It hisses along the seams of the glass. Heat crawls up my neck. Cold settles behind my eyes. I feel the ledger settling into place like cold lead. If I nod, if I cast my will into their books, I will be bound by arithmetic. My mercy will be measured. My sin will be scored. My love will be entry number 1,600,000 and counting. If I refuse, the throne will not be unmade. It will unmake me more slowly. It will pluck shards until nothing that remembers my name remains. It will feed my last laugh to strangers who will learn nothing but how to use it. A priest moves closer. His breath is a bell. He watches me as a farmer watches a vine. He expects the yield. My hands twitch. They are not wholly mine. Gears answer in their sockets. My fingers make the shape of assent before my skull can refuse. The motion is triumph and surrender at once. It is the habit of men trained to bow. It is the instinct of the broken who hope for meaning. The wafer warms. A single grain slides into place. It tastes like verdict and rust. A thread of light winds from the glass into my spine. I hear gears lock. A small, glassy scream echoes in some catalog I can feel more than hear. My marrow hums the ledger's tune. My blood becomes signature. They do not mark me with a cross. They brand me with accounting. They write my name in weights. They hang me on the scales of a god. I accept. The word is not spoken. It is a tightening in the chest. It is the sound of a hinge finally set. And then the revelation arrives. Acceptance is not a submission. It is an office. They dress me in duties that smell of bleach and iron. They hand me keys that open closed things. They give me maps that show where stars will dim. They place at my feet the small coin of authority, a permission to order death for stability. My body tenses to the new geometry. Bones tune like instruments. Blood runs like ink across forms. My soul threads into the lattice and takes up its appointed weight. I feel the first summons already. A whisper like weather sector 87, faith collapsing, bring order. My hands answer. My child's laugh echoes as a signal. A town burns and I count the price on my chest. The silence grows teeth. It will not let me forget the tally. It will not let me pretend I did not hear the cries. Each cry will thrum a new notch in the glass. And then the last, sharp thing lands. Worse than being kept, worse than being used. They will make me believe I am necessary. They will teach me to measure worth by the ledger's touch. I will learn to judge by numbers. I will learn to love as accounting. I am holy now and hollow. I hold a God and the bill for his keeping. My bones know their place in the machinery. My blood writes the minutes of ruined days. The priests step back. They fold their hands as if in prayer. They leave me to the silence and the wafer and the work. I am both crucible and clerk. I will carry his burden until the glass is full and beyond. I will tally and I will weep. I will obey and I will remember. And the final terror settles like a cold coin into my gut. When the ledger breaks, I will not end. I will scatter into invoices across time. Each echo of me will keep his balance. Each echo will be a living debt. My mouth tastes of iron. My bones clack a slow acknowledgement. I have accepted. I wake to a new ache. It is not in flesh. It lives behind my teeth. My blood is a bell again. It rings into corridors I have never walked. Hot sound, thin, relentless. Bones clack. They learn a colder cadence. Joints click like locks closing on a vault. The wafer on my chest hums. It tastes of counting and winter. A filament of light slides deeper into my spine. The silence of the warp leans close. It whispers in measures now, not hunger, design. A priest lights a candle. Its flame trembles in a wind I cannot feel. He names a thing I did not know could be named. You will not only keep the balance, he says. His voice is a rasp of vellum. You will unwrite. Unwrite. The word is a blade that parts air. My marrow misreads it as instruction. My ribs flex. My teeth chatter with the shape of the act. They show me how. Not with maps, with memory. They thread a shard through the glass and hold it up like a lens. I see my child. Then I see a town. Then the sight slides, and the town is not there anymore. A blank where the memory used to be. A smoothness like a wiped slate. My blood hisses. It tastes of absence. It tastes like a door shut on laughter. They graft the process into me. A lever of recollection. A valve that, when pulled, folds a face out of time. Bones shake as the thought seats itself. Splinters of me line up to obey. They become instruments of forgetting. The priest's fingers move. A small knot of light blooms on the wafer. It feels like the press of a palm on a fresh wound. They call it mercy. They call it stability. They call it cleansing. I feel a name leave me. The absence is a physical thing. A cold crater opens in my chest. My child's laugh is thinner. A note removed. A village goes mute somewhere. I taste the silence as if I had swallowed it. It settles like ash behind my eyes. The revelation widens until it becomes a horizon. This is how the throne keeps its order. Not only by counting and burning, by excising memory itself. Our ledger does not merely weigh. It erases. Each grain can be a guillotine for a history. When a string is cut, the story untees. Names slip out of speech. Laws unlearn their lines. Lovers forget the faces of those they held. I will be the hand that smooths the page. I will be the eraser that takes nations out of memory. I will press and press until an entire people is a blank. My bones rattle at the thought. My blood flames with nausea. The silence in the warp tastes like the last thing remembered before a dream is lost. Worse, I will remember what I erase. Every absence I make will be carved into me as a scar. Their vanishings will be tattooed along my spine. Each erasure will register not as relief, but as debt. An extra grain on the wafer. A notch in the ledger that hums. I will hold the names I cut. I will carry the smell of the empty places I made. I will know, in vivid dying detail, what it means to be removed. They will make me perform the mercy with a smile. They will make me call it salvation. They will read petitions and hand me knives. My hands will be both the blade and the archive. I will taste the last words of those I remove. Their silence will become an H that never leaves. The priests prime the mechanism. They test my reflexes with a church bell and a child's toy. They watch me flinch and answer. My body responds. A piece of me lifts and walks away to unmake a village's hymn. Another piece files down a mother's memory until she forgets her son. They work in tandem like clockwork and plague. The final terror settles cold and absolute. When I erase, the throne grows steadier. When I remember what I erased, the wafer grows heavier. My task both heals and devours. I am the hand that wipes the map clean. I am also the ledger that keeps the tally of what has been emptied. I erase and I bear the erased. My blood turns to a slow, black light. My bones shake with the knowledge of both acts. The silence of the warp swells into a presence that is less hunger now and more law. The priests nod. They fold their hands. They have prepared other hooks, other wafers. They will send me out, with permission, with authority. They will let me make the world forget, and they will make me remember that forgetting forever. My mouth tastes of nothing. My chest is an inventory. A thought passes through the wafer like a command. It is small and clean. It is the next order I will obey. The order settles like a stone. It is a small thing to a priest. It is an ocean to me. My blood answers first. It surges like a bellows. Heat and tar. Hot metal and old vows. My bones remember their work. They shift. They lock. Joints click into their appointed stances. The silence presses. Not empty now. A ledger opened. 1,000 tiny demands whisper through it. I feel a root form in me. A corridor of hurt and purpose. It smells of sinned hair and wet iron. A shard steps forward. It carries the order like a lantern. Its feet echo on stone I have not touched for years. I taste the town I will erase. Cobbled streets. A baker's cough. A child's scraped knee. They flare like tinder and then are cued to fall away. The hook in my chest hums. The wafer adds a grain. It is a small, crystalline sound that cracks my teeth. My marrow hums with calendars. My pulse maps the hour of burning. Distance collapses. I am there before my feet move. The priests watch me like watchmen over a clock. They smile at the precision. They call it mercy when a history is wiped. I reach out with a hand that is many hands. It is steady because practice has made it so. It is steady because the throne has taught me steadiness through ruin. And then the next thing arrives, clear as a blade. They will not only order which village dies, they will teach me which history must be kept. They will let me choose which truth will survive. They hand me the choice like a coin. Cold metal at my palm. It is heavier than I am. My blood answers. It burns slow. It tastes of decisions. My bones ache with the angle of the task. Joints learn the measure of selection. My spine curves into a question. The silence listens. It holds its breath like a judge. It makes my memories line up like witnesses. I see the faces I might save. I see the faces I might erase. They are both bright and thin in my chest. The hook in my sternum hums. The wafer counts another grain. I feel the ledger tilt a fraction. The air tastes of ash and ledger ink. My throat closes around a laugh that is no longer mine. My hands move as if by map. I make the first choice. A village kept. A city blotted. A line drawn with my child's name. My blood flares at the verdict. Heat runs along channels I have not named. It sings the outcome into places far from here. Bones shift under the weight of consequence. My teeth click like a clock. Time rearranges itself to suit the ledger. The silence becomes a presence that appraises. It measures my mercy as meat and metal. It files my pity under usefulness. A priest nods. A bell rings somewhere I can feel. The world answers my choice like a command. Then the next truth opens in my chest. Choice is not freedom here. Choice is a conveyor. They will teach me which truths to preserve. They will hand me histories like tools. They will make me the smith of memory. I will name what remains. I will choose which songs continue. I will decide which children can inherit a name. And worse, they will let me forget why I chose. They will let me believe the ledger is righteous. They will let me sleep with the scale in my mouth. My blood cools and burns at once. My bones remember the hinge of forever. The silence waits with a new request. It wants more than choices. It wants me to believe in them. It wants me to sanctify erasure. I am tired beyond measure. I am fuller than the priest's smile. I am a ham that will tremble and then learn to steady. The wafer grows. The ledger never stops. The throne asks a final thing. The silence closes. No breath, no chant. Only the weight of the throne. My blood is ash. My bones are glass. Every thought unravels into light and fire. I reach for myself, but my hand is already gone. Skin folds into dust. Voice collapses into nothing. Memory burns until only fragments remain. Then the hunger takes me, not cruel, not kind, absolute. I am stripped. Layer by layer, the throne consumes. It swallows what I was, what I am, What I might have been, no rebellion, no refusal. Only surrender, only service. I do not vanish. I am broken into pieces and scattered, each shard bound to the golden fire, each cry stretched into eternity. I am no longer a man. I am a mouth of silence, a grain in the endless ledger, a scream woven into the Emperor's breath. And when he hungers again, it will be my voice that calls the next to the altar. I am devoured, and I endure.